Hello everyone, it's Steamo27. I received this message as soon as I logged in again. Apparently after being the first story mission, I am now able to interact with people online, so hooray for that. We won't actually be able, we'll be doing a lot of parallel quests with other people, so I suppose later on, if you do have a copy of this game, we can fight together if you want to add me on Steam. My Steam name for this, it's not actually my Steam name. I'm using an alternate account for this because I assumed I was going to make a lot of DBZ friends as I go along. So there's a separate, I got a separate account just for this. So in this, we have to do a we're going to do a parallel quest pretty soon. Not right now. I need to talk to Trunks for that, and I don't know that yet. Let's talk about skill builds. Let's see. For the most part, if you want to have fun, it doesn't goddamn matter. It doesn't matter what you do. You do need to be a little smart if you want to beat the game with your points, but overall, everything is possible no matter where you put your points into. And there is a competitive level of this game in which you can fight people online, and I suppose we'll be doing that eventually. We're not doing this now because everyone's probably level 80, and I don't want to fight people that are level 80. Level 80 is the current max. But we can take a look at the shops while we're here instead. We have item shops, mixing shops, and clothing shops, accessory shops, and skill shops, and that's basically it. I do have a gripe about this game, and it lends itself to the MMO feeling again. I hate the fact that there's crafting in this game. I hate it. I absolutely cannot stand it. And it's all for the right. It's kind of because of one thing. And it's that during quests, you use a scouter, which we'll be getting later on, to scan the area for items. You can pick them off the ground, and they're invisible until you scan them. And I can't understand why people thought it would be a good idea to have you look around the battlefield where people are fighting in, just look for an item. There are two things that they did with it that I kind of like though, and it's that when you do it, when you do look for items and get enough items, you get a medal for it, which gives you more experience. And it does help you get certain items that cannot be it helps you get it gave them leeway to make certain items that otherwise they probably couldn't make in this game. Like some characters, whenever you get a drop in a parallel quest, you get a move or a soul or something related to them. And some of these things that you get, like eventually we get, like, we can craft like Dende's soul or Nail's soul, or you know, Grand Guru from Namek's soul, and you don't fight them. You never do. But because of that leeway, you can craft the soul and not really care about it. One thing I very much dislike about it is that some of these parallel quests, they have their ultimate finishers. Their requirements are time, and because if you don't know. There's a lot of lists online now, so I suppose it's really moot. But starting out, if you didn't know how to trigger an ultimate finish, you were so worried about the time constraint that you just could not bother to like look for an item. And during these missions, in which you what am I saying? And during these missions in which you have a time constraint, picking up items is not an option. Like, you cannot pick up items during that mission. You cannot if you want to get through it and you want to get the ultimate finish. Yo. So there's that. Some missions you just can't pick up items in. And I'm not really sure about how items work in this game. I'm pretty sure it's all the same pool, separated by stars for certain things, but the good news is that almost every one of these missions, in almost every star level, there are enough. There's at least one mission that doesn't care about time, which lets you pick up items. Right here, we're looking at a tutorial that the game hasn't shown us yet, and it's mostly because I thought they would skip it. We get to see this later on. It's just talking about the multiplayer and single player. When you're doing single player, you can bring any Z fighter to be currently unlocked with you. Oh, another thing I have to address is that I don't have the pre-order bonus for this game. So I don't have the golden battle suit, I don't have the silver one, a crystal one, and I don't have Gogeta. I mean Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. I don't have them, which is unfortunate because I kind of wish I did. But whatever, it's okay. If you do have them, use them all the time because they're really helpful. They're really powerful. Here we get a little bit more of a breakdown on your stats. I'd say for the most part, no matter who you are, you want health, and you want ki, and you want stamina to a certain degree. Others might disagree with me, but for this character that you're currently watching, she's going to get enough points to get a second bar of stamina, and then after that, we won't care. I feel like every character should have at least 4 bars of ki and 4 bars of stamina, no matter what they are. Afterwards, it's kind of up to you. If you want to have fun with this game, I recommend putting points into both Strike and Beam. Especially if you want... I mean, you can always just make another character that's specialized later on, and it doesn't really hurt you. My friend, when he beat the game, he had a build that could do pretty much everything, because he wanted to experience everything at once. And it worked out. We were able to beat the game. It wasn't that hard. So I recommend if you're playing this game, I suppose you should definitely try to see if you can experience everything. The game, however, I have to say, it panders to beams a lot. There's a lot more moves that are really good for beams. There's a lot more. All the mentors like teach you beams. That's all they teach you. All the ultimates are beams. All the cool moves are beams. Physical attacks are kind of like underrated. They have some really great moves, and I love the fact that they have them. But for the most part, I feel like this game panders to beam builds a lot. So I suppose if you had to pick between like being both Strike or Beam, don't pick Strike unless you want to be different, and you take that and you have a satisfaction from being different. Because I did. I had a satisfaction from being different, and that's why my character in the previous one was Strike only, and it was fun. There are some problems with it, and we will run into those problems later, and I'll address them. But for right now, there really is no problem. You won't have any problems being a Strike build. Alright, so, because this parallel quest is part of the story, this will not be in the folder, the playlist for parallel quests. It will be in story, because, I don't know, I feel like that's the intelligent decision to do. Plus, the ultimate finish for this one isn't really that hard, and I'm pretty sure you get it automatically, so there's no reason to actually put this into the playlist in which I guide you into how to get the ultimate finish. So, we're going to put this in story, and that'll be that. And Piccolo's our first mentor, and we'll talk about him later because he'll show up eventually, and he will be in the story as well, at least parts of his mentorship, because that was an accident. But I will clip the I'll clip the cuts from them, and I'll make a separate file for that as well, just for people who are looking for it. Oh, another thing. You don't actually need to equip a scouter to use the scouter. I don't understand why they tell you to like equip the scouter and use it when you can just look around. I don't know. But you don't need a scouter to do it. So here we are. This game is teaching about how you can find items in the foreground, and sometimes you need to blow up a rock or something to find it. Which kind of sucks if you don't have energy charge, although I can't imagine why you don't have energy charge. You probably should. You can use key blasts to break open rocks, stuff like that, so there's that. For the most part, you won't see me getting items, although sometimes you will. Sometimes you will see me getting items, mostly because in multiplayer, don't get in... I'll say it again later, but don't get in your teammates' way. Don't get in the way of their combo. It's bad. You don't want to do that. And the CPUs in this game are really bad about that too. But they can't help it. They're computers. You can. So just make sure you don't get in the way of your friends. If it's a... You should leave... Fights are much more flow. Fights have a lot more flow when it's one-on-one. course, later on, and if you outnumber a guy, just let the other person let the other person beat on them until their health gets low, and then just take over for them. We'll talk more about that later, though. So yeah, there's there's just a bunch of stuff on the ground, and you can't see it unless you scan for it. And I don't think you can use your scouter to like look at your enemy, and you can see how much health they have and what moves they have on. I cannot think that's actually a good idea, especially if they're targeting you. If they're gunning for you, why would you ever take the time to just look at the enemy? Because you can't guard while you're scanning them. At least I don't think so. Even the grabs are different in this game, which is pretty awesome. If I were to address on how to fight multiple people at once, I would say use a chain that involves a teleport to get away from the enemy, like a knockback attack. A knockback attack is knockback attack is strong attack and key blast at the same time. I'm gonna use a general term for that because not everyone uses the same controller. So that's good, and you can chase after them. For the most part, though, everyone can fly, so you're gonna have a tough time if you're outnumbered. Which is why it's important to have parallel quest friends, I suppose. And here I realize that my knockdown chain does not work on grounded opponents. See that? It doesn't work on grounded opponents at all. So some things don't work. Excuse me. Oh, another thing I'd like to address is that teleporting while blocking is a thing. You can do it. And I see it happen a lot, where people just kind of teleport after you get hit. Just like if you block, you get to save 1 bar of stamina, and there's no real way of recovering it unless you have a certain move, and that move will take up a slot. So not everyone is up for that. Saving that 1 bar is pretty helpful. So when you see those golden exclamation points, that is an ultimate finish. Like you've done it. You triggered it to happen. And of course you need to beat the person in order to actually get the ultimate finish. For Parallel Quest 1, I think it happens no matter what you do. Like, I'm pretty sure it's automatic, so no problem there. And there's nothing you can get from this quest anyway, except for like some money, so there's not really a demand for it. So here I learned that if I do a launch attack, I can throw a beam afterwards, and we'll be doing that. And that'll be our bread and butter for later. It also works for the strong attack chain as well. But there isn't any chain for the female Saiyan that involves launching them forwards. To my disappointment. Launching them upwards, excuse me. See, there you go, ultimate finish. You'll get those texts all the time. And obviously, in order to get certain items and certain moves, you're going to have to do an ultimate finish. Evaluation criteria is weird. I believe those are what contribute to, along with clear time, contribute to your grade. And see, we got some stuff off the ground, and they're pretty much... we'll talk about that later. Can't talk about everything. I don't like picking up items. I hate picking up items off the ground. I feel like it's kind of a dumb thing. I feel like it should just be a thing where like you get, just like before, you just get a drop after punching somebody and knocking them out. But that's just me. I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel the same way. Oh, another thing I'd like to say is that parallel quests are a lot shorter than these, so I might end up just like throwing a bunch of videos up at once. So there you have it. And we're doing Parallel Quest 1 in the story as well. I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm probably gonna have to make a separate clip for that as well, so I have to write that down. Let's see, where's some paper? I need to write this down now. Hold on. We're doing paper stuff right now. Yeah, you hear that crackling? That's paper. Yep, hear that paper just crackling around? Alright. Parallel Quest. Come on, pen, give me some ink. Parallel Quest 1 needs a clip. I know Piccolo needs some clips too. I don't know where it is, but I'll look at it. It's in Story 2. Story 2 has the Parallel Quest 1. I got a clip later. So there's that. Always gotta keep things done. Always gotta keep things done the moment you know about them. Oh, and another thing, I'm not going to record the video in which I get a certain drop. I'm just going to show you the ultimate finish and that's it. Mostly because it takes a long time to get some of these. So I don't think it's worth like showing you when you get it or how you get it. Nobody knows the rates. Nobody knows what the percentage chance of something dropping is. And you know, you probably never will. Although now it's on PC, I'm pretty sure people can do some data mining, which would be nice. I would like to know exactly like what the chances are and how stuff like that works. Especially for mentoring. Mentoring is a very gray area for a lot of us. We don't understand how it works. We think that having your mentor tag along with you during parallel quests helps you. We think that getting a high grade, like a Z or an S in a mission helps you, and we think using their moves helps as well. But we're not really sure. We don't know. And all I really have to say about that is just do all of the things I just said. Just make sure you have all those covered, just in case. Because as you play through the game and the story, you should probably be able to go through about 3 mentors. At least 3 of the early ones. The earliest ones being Piccolo, Krillin, and Vegeta. Those should be pretty easy to master throughout the story. And there are 10 mentors in all, so there's quite a bit you can do. I should probably not. I'll talk when it comes to achievements. I don't really feel that there's a need to like list them off, but there's some special ones that you might not know. There's a journey achievement for deflecting key blasts. If you deflect 20, you'll get a medal for that. And if you grapple 5 times during a match, you'll get another medal as well. Beating the mission with over 80% HP is good. Breaking guards, I believe like 5 times or something like that, or 3 times, gets you a medal as well. And it doesn't have to be when they're guarding; just a charged up strong attack will count as well. I don't know if there's an achievement for just guarding. I feel like there is, but I don't get enough of them to actually make it worth it. Anyway, we got the ultimate finish for Parallel Quest 1. I'm not going to tell you what they are. They'll be in the description from now on. They'll be in text, so that there's no confusion about what I say. For this one, see, another problem is I don't remember what this one is. I know what it. I'm pretty sure it's just time or something like that, or HP. But just to be sure, it'll be in. Just to be sure I don't make a mistake during the time of recording, which eventually will be live. So that's not the problem with that. It'll be in the description. So there you have it. Oh, and for now, the videos will only be in 720. I'll probably change that later. And I'll probably make it to 60 frames a second, because the game looks really good in 60. It looks amazing in 60. And I gotta look up whether or not YouTube has actually made it so that you can look at 60 in browsers other than Google Chrome. I believe you can do it in Firefox now. And nobody cares about Internet Explorer. If you're using Internet Explorer, please change browsers. Please don't keep it. It's been better than before, but Internet Explorer has a long way to go before I start using that again. I use Firefox, by the way. I don't like Google Chrome. Mostly because I'm already used to Firefox. And it goes without saying that most of the ultimate finishes, the foes you fight, or the objectives you have to do, they're a lot harder than the actual mission. As you can see, Piccolo took a lot more than what was actually required of the other 3. They went down pretty easy. So here you get to see an example of an item dropping and a skill dropping. It's random. I can't tell you how you get it or what to do about it. And there's our scouter. Accessories don't really do anything. Got a drop. Chi-Chi costume. I'll use that. Just for now. When it comes to equipment from Parallel Quests, they're not that good. You can buy a lot of like the best armor in the game from the shops. I don't quite understand why it's like all the drops you get from actual battles are crap. I don't know why it's like that. I hope that they would change that later on. But I don't know. That's just another tangent I'm on. We're gonna be on a lot of tangents for a while because of this post commentary thing. Plus, I'm still sick. Oh, there's Piccolo and there's Raditz. Raditz, his parallel quest. I think I was smart about this because some parallel quests cannot be accessed directly from the menu. Alright, so Piccolo's master clips are also in Story 2, which means I need to clip those later. Story 2 has like the most mistakes in it. Gotta write that down. So I think I was smart enough to put the parallel quests that you get from NPCs. I'm pretty sure I put them in a different clip, so that's good. The problem with those ones is that when you do a parallel quest from an NPC, I want to include all the dialogue and things, so when we do those, you might not see the ultimate finish the first time, and I'll add just a little clip at the end of me doing it again and getting the ultimate finish. The problem with those ones, which I'll explain later on in another clip because it's not relevant right now, let's talk about mentors. Getting the first move, when you have a mentor, there are around 4 levels. There can be 5, there can be more than that.
Show me your...
As you can see there, I just tried to scan Piccolo and he just came at me and I panicked. When it comes to using a mentor, you can they show up on the city randomly, and the more mentors that are available, the less chance of you seeing one. So make sure when you see one you want, make sure you get it. I'll probably list what you get from each mentor in their beginning videos or every video afterwards. And of course, if you're listening to this in the mentor playlist and you're like, hey, didn't I see this in the story? Yeah, you did. You did see this in the story. This is the same. This is from the same source footage. So we're just clipping it for audio's sake. And I gotta say, this first fight was kind of hard. Being level 6 and all, I didn't think I was gonna get my ass kicked pretty bad. I will get my ass kicked every now and then, so I apologize. It's mostly because these guys have the counterattacks still actually. They do quite a bit of damage, and I kind of hate evasive moves and super armor in general, because I don't remember. I gotta make sure if I can or cannot actually grab through them. I'm hoping that later on I'll figure out I can. I think I use an item here. Don't I use an item? No. Okay, we lived.
Hold it.
Ow.
I know how strong you are already.
So yeah, the first mentor mission isn't that tough. It kind of is, but after this, it won't be as bad. And for that, we get Evil Explosion, which is probably the first charged up beam move you'll get. And I recommend starting with Piccolo anyway, if you're a beam build. If you're starting off with a strike build, go for Krillin, because he's one of the few characters in the game that actually gives you a strike skill. Unfortunately, every skill afterwards is not a strike skill, but at least you get something out of it. So like I said, I really can't tell what affects how you get your approval rating up. All I know is that it's one of 3 things or a combination of these 3 things, and it's doing well in missions, using their move, and taking them along with you during these parallel quests. I'll see you guys later.